Today, we'll talk about vegetables, one of the most exciting topics in the world of health and nutrition. But there's a reason that you've been hearing pretty much your entire life that you should be eating more of them. If we can find ways to incorporate more veggies into our diet, we'll be less likely to run into different chronic diseases like different types of cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and things like that. Eating more vegetables also makes it easier for us to control our weight. Whether you're just trying to maintain a good healthy weight or whether you're trying to lose fat or burn fat to try to get down to a healthier weight, vegetables will be very helpful for that. And so there's a reason why pretty much every diet that's ever been around, there might be a couple random exceptions, but just about every single diet agrees that vegetables should be a big part of it. So one of the reasons that they're so important is they contain a ton of nutrients. You probably already knew this, but there's a lot of vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, all kinds of good stuff in vegetables. And those are the type of things that can help us with our long-term health. So I like to compare, if you think about when you're thirsty, when your body's dehydrated, you get thirsty, right? If your body's low in water, it senses that there might be some danger, it creates this thirst, you get thirsty, and so you drink water, and then all of a sudden your hydration level is back to normal and you're good to go. You avoid any kind of big negative consequences from that. If you think about hunger in a similar way, if you have people, let's say, that eat quite a bit, but you still feel like you have a lot of cravings, you still seem to be hungry all the time, sometimes those cravings can be because you're deficient in certain nutrients and you're not eating enough nutrient-dense food. You're not getting all the vitamins and minerals that your body needs, so then you end up with this hunger. And you might be eating enough quantity-wise, calorie-wise, you might be getting plenty to keep your body satisfied, but your body's still craving some of those nutrients, so you still have this hunger. You still have these cravings even though you've eaten enough and you should be satisfied. So that can sometimes be the case if you find yourself hungry all the time, that you might just be deficient in certain nutrients and your body's telling you, hey, you should eat some more nutrient-dense food like vegetables. So another really big benefit of eating them is that they tend to be low in calories. So you have two different categories. You've got starchy and you've got non-starchy. Starchy is going to be things like potatoes, sweet potatoes, and squash. And then non-starchy, you have things like peppers, onions, broccoli, different greens like kale, spinach, lettuce, and things like that. So starchy, they're not necessarily a low-calorie food. You're going to have some carbs with them. They're going to have some calories, not in a bad way. You don't need to avoid them in any way, but you do need to account for those when you're looking at kind of the big picture of what you're eating in a day, your total calorie load for the day. Non-starchy, on the other hand, those contain almost no calories. You can pretty much look at those as freebies and eat as much as you want during the day. It's really hard to go overboard on those. So once again, you've got starchy on one side, and you're definitely going to want to incorporate those in your diet, but also just know that they come with calories, they come with carbs, so you just need to take that into account. And then you have non-starchy. Those pretty much eat as much as you want during the day. Go crazy. Just eat a lot of those. It's going to be very beneficial. So when it comes to recommendations for how many vegetables, how many servings of vegetables you should have in a day, you can shoot for around 5 maybe as a long-term goal. That's going to put you in a pretty good place. A lot of people, though, they might be around 1 or 2 or maybe even 0. So you just need to start from wherever you are right now. Don't think you need to go from 0 to 5 over the next few days. That's never going to work long term. It's not going to be sustainable. So if you're at 0, just try having 1. Pick one that, maybe you don't love any certain kind of vegetable, but one that you can at least tolerate. Start adding that in. And then you bring yourself from 0 to 1. And then when you're at 1, once you feel pretty comfortable with that, try to add another one and you can work your way up to 2 and then maybe up to 3 until you're up around 5. You're going to be in a pretty good place. And there's no reason you need to stop at 5. I mean, you can definitely go beyond that. There's going to be some benefits to that too. But in general, if in the long term you can average around 5 servings a day, you're going to be in a pretty good place and you're going to be getting a lot of different nutrients. So in conclusion, if you want to feel better, if you want to decrease your chances of getting a lot of long-term diseases and illnesses, if you want to just be better at controlling your weight and potentially achieving fat loss, if that's what your goal is, you should really find ways to incorporate more vegetables. Find a few that you can at least tolerate, start adding those in, and then just work your way up from there. So hopefully this was helpful. You're always welcome to share this with anyone who might benefit from it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for listening.